I hit Coast F.I.R.E. Now, what does that mean for my money journey? Stick around and you're gonna find out. Hi everyone, this is Camilla, the Focus Spender, and welcome to my channel where I teach you how to get out of debt, save more money, and invest so that you can build wealth and leave a lasting legacy. Now, you might have heard of the F.I.R.E movement. You've probably seen tons of people on Instagram talking about what their F.I.R.E number is and when they're going to achieve F.I.R.E. So F.I.R.E stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early, and the term was coined in 1992 in a book called Your Money or Your Life. People who are trying to achieve F.I.R.E, they're saving up to 70% of their income with the goal of hitting at least $1 million or 25 times their annual living expenses. And to achieve F.I.R.E, people are doing one of two things, or maybe even a combination of both. They're either drastically reducing their living expenses, so they might downsize their home, they might downsize their car, they might move in with people, they might take a roommate, they might have no spend days, no spend weeks, no spend months. They're doing whatever they can to reduce their living expenses while maintaining their current income. On the flip side, you have people who are just really trying to increase their income. So they may not be reducing how much they're spending, but they're really trying to close the gap or increase the gap, not too sure, by increasing their amount of income. They might take on a second job. They might really push to make more money in the career that they have. They might start a business. They might sell things online, whatever they can do to make extra money so that they can have more to invest. That is what they're going to do to achieve F.I.R.E. So me personally, I haven't been too big on trying to hit F.I.R.E. intentionally. I already have a pretty low cost of living lifestyle. I don't spend that much money in terms of how much my daily or monthly expenses are. So I don't really feel the need to reduce it any further. And in terms of income, I get raises at work. And so what I do is that I don't increase my expenses. I just use that additional income that I get when I have a raise to invest further. But that's pretty much it. I'm not doing anything too aggressive. So all that is to say, I was really surprised when one day I decided I was going to look up my Coast F.I.R.E number because I kept seeing people on Instagram talking about, I hit Coast F.I.R.E, I hit Coast F.I.R.E. So I thought, I wonder if I've hit Coast F.I.R.E or how long it would take for me to hit Coast F.I.R.E. And guess what? I hit Coast F.I.R.E. Now, to be clear, there is a difference between F.I.R.E and Coast F.I.R.E. So with F.I.R.E, you're trying to hit that $1 million or $750 or whatever that high number is right now. You're doing whatever you can right now to hit that number as soon as possible so that you can retire right now. With Coast F.I.R.E, the number that you need to hit is a lot lower. Coast F.I.R.E is when you have enough money in your retirement accounts that you no longer have to contribute to it anymore, and you'll still be able to retire at 65 like normal with enough money in your retirement accounts. So basically, the fact that I've hit Coast F.I.R.E means I don't have to max out my 401k anymore. I don't need to max out my Roth IRA anymore because the money that is there will grow enough to hit $750 or $1 million by the time I hit 65 without me putting in another dollar, which I think is pretty cool. At this point in my life, if I decide that I want to work part-time or if I want to take on a less stressful job that pays less, I can do it because I no longer have to think about putting money away for retirement. All I need to do is focus on my daily living expenses. As long as I have enough money to cover that, there's nothing else I need to do. So the question you might be asking is, how can I achieve Coast F.I.R.E? Well, the way you can achieve Coast F.I.R.E first is by calculating what your Coast F.I.R.E number is. So in order to calculate your Coast F.I.R.E number, you're going to need to know your yearly expenses, and then you're going to need to know how many years you have until you retire. So you can multiply your yearly expenses by 25 because you need 25 times the amount of your yearly expenses, and then divide that by the number you have left until you retire, and then you can hit Coast F.I.R.E. What I did, I found a website online that did the work for me because there's other factors that will go into that Coast F.I.R.E number. You're going to need to know the average rate of return that you expect, and then you're going to need to know the average rate of inflation. Now, I know inflation is a touchy subject right now because it is through the roof, but I'm hoping the government will get it together. Come on, United States, get it together and bring it back down to normal. So let's go to the website that I found, and then that way you can see how you can calculate your Coast F.I.R.E number. Okay, so I found this website, Wallet Burst. It has a really nice calculator for you to use. So let's say I'm 30 years old, I want to retire at 67, and my annual living expenses is $30,000. So you kind of have to play with this number. You can look at how much you have in annual expenses now, and then thinking about when you retire, you're probably going to downsize. So you might have higher annual expenses right now than you will in retirement. So let's say my number that I think I'll be able to live off of is $30,000 a year. And so I put that in. Then I can also put in my current invested assets. And this is what I use to figure out my F.I.R.E number. So in the current invested assets, if you have nothing invested, you're going to want to put 0. And then you have your monthly contribution towards your retirement account. So let's say I'm putting $500 a month. So next you're going to enter your investment growth rate. So you could put in 7%. That is the average return of investments in the stock market. There's no real reason to put 4% in because historically the rate of return in the stock market is about 10%. So 7% is a pretty conservative number. Inflation rate, this is where we get tricky because normally the inflation rate in the United States has been about 3% per year. Right now it's going crazy. So maybe you want to increase it to 4%. And then safe withdrawal rate. So your safe withdrawal rate is basically them saying if you only withdraw about 4% of your nest egg per year. So now to figure out if I'm 30 years old and I want to retire at 67, I need to have $251,000 in my retirement account before I can say that's enough. I don't want to invest anymore. So once you know that number, then you'll be able to tell whether or not you have that amount of money already in your retirement account. So when I put my numbers in, I saw that I needed to have $368,950 in just my retirement accounts in order to achieve F.I.R.E. I do have about $30,000 to $40,000 more than that within my retirement accounts. So technically I have already hit F.I.R.E. I can just stop when I want to. So there's a graph on the side that shows what your F.I.R.E. is and what your F.I.R.E. number is. So my F.I.R.E. number is 368,000. My F.I.R.E. number would be 750,000. So once I hit 750,000, and that point I could just go ahead and retire and not worry about working at all. So what does this information mean for me exactly? Does it mean that I'm going to actually stop saving for retirement? Does it mean that I'm going to get a lower paying job? I'm going to switch to part-time? So the answer really simple is no, no, and no. I don't plan on reducing my 401k contributions or my IRA. I don't plan on getting a lower paying job, and I don't plan on switching to part-time at this exact moment. I am really excited about the fact that I could work part-time if I want to, but I'm not looking to go to part-time at this exact moment. Honestly, I want to hit a different level of F.I.R.E. So there's actually 6 levels of F.I.R.E. So the lowest level is Coast F.I.R.E, then there's Barista F.I.R.E, Lean F.I.R.E, Traditional F.I.R.E, and Fat F.I.R.E. So Fat F.I.R.E is the one that I'm most interested in. Fat F.I.R.E basically means that you have enough money that 1, you can retire early, and then 2, you don't have to be frugal in your retirement. You don't have to penny pinch. You don't have to only withdraw 3 or 4%. You can withdraw a little bit more. So I want to make sure that when I retire, I can withdraw more than 3 or 4%. I want to be able to really enjoy my life. I don't like to call myself frugal, but I know that I am frugal, and I don't want to be frugal in retirement. I'm not going to just be, making it rain everywhere and spending my money like water. However, I want to be able to really enjoy my life when I'm retired. And I do want to do that on the younger rather than older side. So I don't plan on switching anything up at this point. I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing and ratcheting up whatever I can every time I get another promotion or a raise. So that is it. Now, if you want to calculate your F.I.R.E. number, be sure to use the link that I have in my description box below. And if you just want to get your money life in order, be sure to download my free guide, The 5 Payday Mistakes That Are Keeping You from Investing and Saving. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.